I have a special guest joining me, Nikki Carbone, who actually went on a date with Rex Heuermann. We have met before. Nikki, thank you for joining me. I appreciate
Hi, how
it.
are you?
When you were hearing, for instance, what happened to Jessica Taylor, found on her back, the decapitated, her arms and hands over her head, a tattoo had been cut off of her skin. You know, you were that close, Miss Lady, to the same thing
Yeah,
happening to you.
yeah. I got
Can you tell us what
honestly, it
happened
makes
on your
me.
date?
It's looking back now, it's still kind of like crazy to me because I feel like I got very lucky. But so I met him at the steam room in Port Jeff in like 2015. He initially, I knew he was from Massapequa and he was an architect, and he wanted me to go directly to his house. He didn't want to meet in public, but I did not want to do that. I ended up actually before going showing somebody his picture and letting her know where I was going to meet him in case anything happened, because I always did it just to be safe. And when I got there, I first impression, he is a freaking monster. He is huge, like 6'5", I think, and like very kind of overbearing. Like like his grip, everything kind of seemed very overbearing. We sat down, we started having dinner. I don't know how, like, I'm pretty sure he brought it up, but I don't know how he like casually brought up serial killers. And we talked about a couple of them, but like the one that stood out the most and bothers me now, hearing what happened to the women, was he talked about the serial killer that used to bring women to Alaska on a date and then hunt them. And he also talked about Jeffrey Dahmer. So like the few serial killers he brought up, very creepy. And then he asked, like, have you heard of Long Island serial killer, Gilgo Beach? I said, yeah, we everyone who lives here knows about it. We started talking about the Gilgo Beach murders. But the difference was when we talked about other serial killers, it was like very much third person, just like stuff you read out of a book, factual stuff. When he talked about Gilgo, it was like completely different. Like his body language changed. The way he was talking about it wasn't somebody, it was almost like he was reliving it. And like, I hate to say it, but almost, I don't know how you say it, but sexualizing it. Like it seemed like he got off on talking about it. And like the impression I got from him was that like he was somebody who like wants the media circus and the attention and to be like a known serial killer. Like I don't see any other reason why you would talk to a potential victim about the murders beforehand. So it was the whole thing. He brought up, I remember Shannon specifically, and that's why it bothers me so much. She's not connected because you said, do you think Shannon Gilbert is tied to the Gilgo Beach? And I said, I don't know. And he said, I think she is. Absolutely. And then he talked about that a little bit. But it's still to this day not tied to him. And that's one of the biggest things about the case that bothers me.
Nikki Carbone with us. You know what, Nikki, after we finish our program, I'm going to hook you up with Dr. Bethany Marshall. She's at drbethanymarshall.com, and I'm going to hook you two up via cell phone. Nikki, when you were hearing that these ladies were kept alive and like suspended from the ceiling and tied up and tortured,
I wasn't
that could have
surprised
been
at
you.
all. I know.
Why do you say that?
That I wasn't surprised. The way he talked about everything, he came off to me as somebody that would enjoy that. And then hearing the autopsy report for like Shannon and other people, it made a lot of sense, especially taunting the families and it's scary. I think the only reason I remember I was too scared to walk to my car alone because I didn't know if he would like come to my car, and he was a massive guy. So I ended up having somebody meet me literally like at the door of the steam room. And I feel like that's the only reason I got as lucky as I did.